see. There's a lot of things that are connected with language. And a lot of people in the area where I live with my kids at the moment, or over the last, actually, too many years, they use a very rough language. And I wonder why. Even the women, just give me a second. And at a certain point, I started to use the same language. It was a matter of, I think, assimilation, but also teaching my kids sort of the local slang to be able to cope. I took it as a lesson. I'm really very fond of violent-free communication and I don't want to call it politically correct, but a respectful communication, because it makes a difference if you say something like, well, what about us? Or it's like, what about us? Eh? So, there are nuances that are very, very important. And it's a difference if you see someone struggling with a foreign language, to really, get to learn it and to really try to express himself or herself in this other language. I have so much tolerance and so much respect for people learning this, because, you have these misunderstandings and you have to cope with a lot of, ha 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 ha. But, it should never be like, it should never tear someone down. It should, support you. Maybe it's something funny which, binds people together. Then you can correct and help, And this is an interesting feature. Because in Russia, no one would help you. No one would correct you. Now, you can interpret this as, they are so arrogant, they let you down with your mistakes. Or you can see this as, it doesn't matter if you make mistakes, it's all right, And there's a lot of, nuances in between also. That somebody would run you into mistakes because that's, just on purpose. To make you lose face or something like that. Or somebody makes you make mistakes so you learn. Yeah. So I think language is about life. Language is life. If you can't express yourself, what do you do then? And these people who can't speak or who can't hear, how do they communicate? Of course they communicate. There's so many varieties, so many varieties. I think you have to very closely listen always to your instinct. And unfortunately, we have to develop a feeling for listening to our instinct. A lot of people have lost this feeling. And this is why we get into trouble and why we get into situations we get really stuck in. And because we have to learn to listen to the instinct again, who will tell us what to do, what's the right thing. And it's not always this, you go from A to B and then you go to C and D and E and whatever. But it's like, you go to A, then you take turns here and there. That's a dead end. That's a wrong road. That's, this is how it goes. And then maybe you get to H or K, and then you go back to A again. This is how it works. That's life. It is so.